there's a special case that goes along with law of sines, and it is called your ambiguous case. We use it whenever you are given two sides and an angle that's like next to them. So let's look at a couple just so we can see what we're looking at. So with your ambiguous case, sometimes, like in figure 2, it makes a triangle, just like you would expect it to, just like it always has. Sometimes, like in figure 1, it actually makes two triangles. So if I know, like, this side here for B, and I know this side here for A, and I know this angle, so I don't know how long this bottom side of C is. This side that's A could be here, or you could actually swing it out and it would hit over here as well. So in this case, you would have two triangles. This was one triangle. Or sometimes that side, that A, so still knowing side B and angle A, that side isn't long enough to even reach this bottom piece, no matter where I try to reach it. So that's going to be no triangle, or we'll just put our answer as, as no solution. All right, so first scenario, we have side A, side B, and angle A. So just like I would do if I was drawing any of these problems, I'm going to draw a triangle. Let's do, just like we did earlier, A, C, and B. So side A is 10, side B is 8, and angle A is 42. And really, anytime I draw these, I am looking at them to decide whether I use law of sines or law of cosines. So since I know an angle and a side across from it, that's going to lead me to law of sines. But I do notice that I know an angle and then the two sides, which would be asked. We don't call it that. We would call it side angle, but it's still asked backwards. That's going to be my hint that something could be off. It could be one triangle, could be two, could be no triangles. But I still start the same way. So sine of 42 degrees over 10 equals sine of angle B over 8. I'm going to cross multiply, divide by 10, do my sine inverse just like we did earlier, and I get here that angle B is 32.4 degrees. That is an answer, it is a correct answer. What I have to do anytime it's side angle is check the supplement. So if you recall, supplementary angles add up to 180. So I'm going to do 180 minus 142. This could give me my second angle B, and we'll call that angle B prime. That would have been 147.6. So step 1 is really find the supplement. Step 2 is to check it. And by check it, I mean take this angle that you're saying it could be there, and take the angle you originally knew. If I did 147.6 plus 42, that would be 189.6. That alone is more than what a triangle can take, and you would still have to have a third angle. So that's too big, so that's not going to work. There's only going to be the one triangle, and I'm going to keep going to solve this. So I would find angle C, and that's going to be 180 minus my angle A and minus my angle B for 105.6 degrees. And then I'll use that with my law of sines to find side C. Cross multiply, divide, I'm getting that C is 14.4 centimeters. So this just looks like normal, like what we've seen so far, but because it was an angle and then two sides, or two sides and then an angle, I have to check to see if there could be a second triangle. So get another scenario. So I still have that triangle. This time I know that side A is 6, side B is 10, and angle A is 85 degrees. I know an angle in the side across from it, so I'm going to start with law of sines. Sine of 85 over 6 equals sine of angle B over 10. Since it is two sides and then the angle, or side angle, when I get this answer, I am going to always check my supplement. So cross multiply, divide. When I did sine inverse, I got error. Or maybe undefined. That means when I had cross multiplied, so when I cross multiplied those and divided by 6, I got that sine of B was 1.660. When I did sine inverse, I got error. Think back, you can't do sine inverse of anything that's more than 1 or less than -1. It's outside of that domain for sine inverse, or the range for sine. So it's outside of that -1 to 1 region that my answer can be. So that makes sense that I got undefined. So my answer is no solution. There is no triangle that could be formed with this side is 6, that side is 10, and then this angle is 85. If you don't believe me, try it. Scenario 3. So same setup for my triangle. Whoa. Side A is 6, side B is 10, angle A is 20.5 degrees. I have an angle in the side across from it. Sine of 20.5 degrees over 6 equals sine of B over 10. Cross multiply and divide. So sine of 20.5 times 10 divided by 6. Sine inverse. I'm getting that B is 35.7 degrees. But again, this was two sides and then the angle. It was side, angle. So I need to check my supplements. So B prime, maybe, will exist. So I'm going to do 180 minus 35.7. When I do that, I get that B prime would be 144.3 degrees. But I need to check it. So I take that 144.3, I add it to the angle that I already knew, and I get 164.8. That itself is less than 180, which means that I could have an angle that's 20.5, an angle that's 144.3, and I would still have room for a third angle. So this is going to be a second triangle. I'm going to have B prime, C prime, all that over there. It does not matter which triangle you go with, but for both of them, you're going to need to find angle C. Over here, it would be C prime. And you're going to need to find side C. So that's going to be sine of 20.5 over 6 equals sine of whatever you get for angle C over C. Over here, it'd be the same thing, but instead of being over C, it would be over C prime. Work through it on your own. I will keep going with it up here, though. So for angle C, I'm going to do 180 minus my 20.5 minus my 35.7. I'm getting 123.8 degrees. 123.8 degrees. Now I can cross multiply, so 6 times sine of 123.8 divided by sine of 20.5. And I'm getting that C is 14.2, roughly. Over here, I'm going to do 180 minus my angle A, because that's in the triangle no matter what, and my angle B prime. I get that C prime would be 15.2 degrees. So I can plug that into my law of sines down here. Cross multiply. Divide. I'm getting that C prime, that side, is going to be 4.5. That's my ambiguous case. So 1 triangle, 2 triangles, no triangles. That's okay if it is given to you as side-side angle.